And we are live. We are live, ladies and gentlemen. While we wait, man, it's Monday Night Raw on a Tuesday. I am your co-host Reggie. What's up, bro?
I am your co-host Norwood, feeling fine, feeling dandy, and hoping these Hawks pause before, but pull this out.
I think what's the score now? Is it still tied?
106, 103.
We're up.
Yeah. Just trying to keep myself at bay.
Well, y'all know what it is, man. This is Monday Night Raw on a Tuesday. It seems like our basketball segment is gonna end up going to Tuesdays. We're trying to put a hard stop pause at 2 hours per day, man. 2-3 hours. We be at that a pod until 3 a.m. ain't it?
Hey,
Because we
grind
end
is
up
real, man.
and we end up talking after the pod. Like we end up
Right.
talking about after the pod too. So
And let me tell y'all this, man. After you get done potting, it's not like you just lay down and go to sleep. It's not like that at all.
go through
Your
everything you
mind's
wish you
been
said.
right. And just like you just conversation. Then it's like, hey, let me just cut the office on and chill out for a little bit.
Yeah, man. But so y'all know what it is when it comes to the NBA segment or basketball segment. We do high school or college and pro. Not a lot going on in college right now because of, or we're not paying attention to it. I won't say not a lot going on. Cooper Flag is still Cooper Flag, but where AJ DeBanta is jugging the system, and then you have Ace Bailey and all of these other players in college.
What's his name? Ron Harper. Lil Ron Harper is hooping. He's
Is he?
he's firmly moved himself into the second position.
Say well, he did what?
He's firmly moved himself into the second position. I like Ace Bailey, and we just little, talk here, but he ain't really the best passer. All he does is shoot and shoot all the time.
I don't see a problem.
I don't, and his footwork is a little weird. I think he's a good player, but I think that clearly right now Harper and Booker. After that, it gets kind of. I mean, not Booker. Cooper.
Yeah, and we'll get into the draft talk because there's other stuff that I do want to highlight. Where are we going to start with basketball today? So, the NIL is here. I can't remember who this coach is. I think this is the coach at Texas.
Yes.
Basically, to me, he sounds a little bit bitter, but he's calling out players, and when they don't do what they're supposed to do on the court, he says, "Well, this is what you're paid to do." Who is this?
I don't know if this is bitter. To me, this is the way the game is now. It's Rick Barnes, who's the head coach at the University of Texas, but he basically goes on to say, he has a player out there, he run the play, he doesn't shoot the ball, he immediately brings him to the bench and says, "Hey man, you here? I'm not gonna play you if you don't do what you're paid to do. You're paid to shoot that shot." I'm okay with that. That is what comes with getting paid tons of money. Is now you're like I said yesterday, you are now an employee. You have an expectation. If you're not doing that, then the only thing I can do is get somebody in there who is willing to do that.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. This is basically them getting treated like grown-ups, and like, there's really nothing you can really say about it. Come on, man.
No, because you get paid large sums of money. If you were an amateur athlete, then then we have a different discussion. But if you're an amateur athlete, this conversation doesn't really happen. So
Yeah.
heavy is the head, as far as I'm
Yep.
concerned.
Yep. Moving on to the pros, man. Does Zion Williamson want to play basketball anymore? I think.
Anymore,
Yeah, anymore. I
think
think
that it's very clear what Zion wants to do. He does that a lot.
he is not paying attention to pro football, to pro basketball. He was late to a flight, which got him a 1-game suspension. He's been late to multiple practices, allegedly. And then he came back for 1 game, did a reverse 360 windmill dunk, and is out for the foreseeable future with hamstring tightness.
And then he was suspended, even though he already missed the game. The suspension came after the missed game from the dunk, which is terrible. First of all, 1 dunk should not take you out. I'm sorry. Second of all, you late to practice, late to meetings, missing flights. Bro, you are the highest paid employee on that team, and you don't earn anywhere near. You're not putting out the return on investment. The least you could do is, if you're not producing, is be where you're supposed to be on time. I don't think that's unreasonable.
It's not. And, well, I mean, all this means to me is that Zion isn't taking this seriously. And
I don't think he's ever taken any part of this seriously. If he did, he would be in shape. And Gary Bird is going crazy. Woo!
Yeah, I don't have it on. But Zion is suspended. I don't know if this is Facebook or if it was AI that created, or, Photoshop that saw him on Joy Taylor's comments. I'm pretty sure it was Photoshop, but it was par for the course, though.
The unfortunate part is you do so many things that it's like, maybe he did, maybe he didn't.
Yeah, I mean, your reputation is forever tainted from the whole Mariah Mills thing. I don't know where Zion goes from here. I don't know what the Pelicans do. I don't know. He really may be, if he's out of the league, right? If he's out of the league after this contract, who's the bigger number one overall? He was number 1 overall pick, right?
Yes.
Number 1 overall pick.
He's still
him or Anthony Bennett.
Anthony Bennett still, because Anthony Bennett was out of the league. Zion was an all-star once. He had 1 season where he showed up. So he's not Anthony Bennett, but I'm already. I told y'all so. I told y'all so from day one. I said the math on his height and weight didn't make any sense, and then his dedication to not getting in shape, and them paying him a max contract, and him not getting in shape. I said that was a death wish right there. Once I've gotten all of my money, you definitely can't make me go work out there. Why? And he's not a guy who enjoys the gym, clearly.
Or the work ethic. And the thing is, they try to trick us. So I don't put Zion in the Anthony Bennett conversation yet. I definitely put him into Ben Simmons. Like, they're getting to the point where they're trying to trick us now.
Zion ain't no Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons was a multi-time All-Star and was just good Ben Simmons was good for a while and then just fell off a cliff after playing the Atlanta Hawks. Shout out to Trae Young.
Yeah, my point. My point is they're starting to treat him like Ben Simmons with the summer workout videos. Oh, he lost 25 pounds. He's coming in the best shape of his life. The joke is, when they tell you you're coming in the best shape of your life, that means you probably are either at the end of the road or you were in horrible shape and you're treading water as a professional. I think Zion, him and Ben Simmons should be on a team together.
No, they should. I mean, sure, if you're looking to tank, that is the fastest way to get to the bottom of the league. And the crazy part is, I guess that doesn't work. I mean, I guess it does work if they were like the 1 and the 5.
Yeah. And well, they would be the 3. They would be the 4 and 5. 3, 4, 5. 3 and 4. 3 and 4, or the 4 and 5.
Oh, I want Ben and Zion, because they can both dribble enough to pick and roll you to death. And then, just put 2 guys in the corner and 1 guy just running side to side. Somebody gonna be open, or you're just gonna get dunked on. Now that's the other part is, if Ben found some heart and Zion lost some weight in the paint, there ain't nothing you could do but call God. And then give me Bogey and anybody who can shoot, and just stand out there, son, and just shoot the ball. Don't move.
Yeah, that's what LeBron does. Him and AD, pick and roll, don't move. I'm gonna hit the open man, or I'm gonna go down and score, or throw the lob to AD.
But Paolo is what y'all wanted out of Zion, honestly.
Yeah, but Paolo's also 6'10". Zion is 6'6".
But I'm talking about the guy who, like, one guy was overhyped personally, and one guy was underhyped criminally. And I still think he's underappreciated. He really like
You
walking
think he was
20
underhyped? Wasn't he the number one pick?
Yeah. Yeah, but there was always like maybe he is, maybe he isn't, maybe he is, maybe he isn't. Like, was that Chet, the other person?
Chet was 2. And I mean,
but
that's way better than Zion's draft. There was no controversial number 2. Number 3 was like RJ Barrett, wasn't it?
Yeah, but I
3
mean,
or 4.
Where does Zion fall in his draft though?
No, what I'm saying is, I don't think Paolo was controversial. I think Paolo, he was a sleeper until you saw it. I think Zachary Ricochet was more controversial than Paolo.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's way flatter draft at the top.
But Paolo, once he got once you saw what he could do, you saw that he was being held back in Duke. He was actually being held back by the system at Duke. And once he got into the league, it was like, oh well.
Rookie, I was like, if he just does this for the rest of his career, he's a Hall of Famer.
And he's done it for the last 2.
And came right back. Came off the injury like, hey, y'all remember me? I'm back.
So the Hawks are right now update 119-114 with 30.9 seconds left on my tablet.
Trey's going to the free throw line.
So this would be a big win for the Hawks, but we'll get there once the game is over. Zion, man, I don't know what to tell you, big dog.
I do. Herbalife, Slim Fast, Ozempic.
Ozempic. Smaller parts.
Yo.
Playoff P, way off P, is bored in Philadelphia. Mind you, Philadelphia is in the bottom of the Eastern Conference, if I'm not mistaken. But they got Paul George playing the 5 because of absences. Joel Embiid in and out of the lineup, all of those things. Trey, Mr. Free Throw.
We up 120 we up by 6 with 30 seconds left. But just finish the drill here. I don't know what to say to the 76ers, but thank you. Thank you for tanking yourself right out of there. This team has been put together stupidly. You probably need to start tanking at this point. I don't think you can turn it around. If you do, you will run the wheels off of Joel Embiid for the rest of his career. What it's going to take for y'all to be good? Oh, man. Tank and see if you can get Cooper Flag or something close. I mean, because this is a decent draft. And, man.
What do the 76ers need? They need a 4.
Cooper Flag.
Is he a 4?
He would be perfect.
Yeah, I guess he's like 6. I mean, he'd be. Yeah.
Him
Cooper Flag's gonna
be interchangeable. Yeah.
Cooper Flag's gonna be at whatever team he goes to. He's gonna be. You could pick any team right now. Cooper Flag is a perfect fit. Pause if necessary. Katie hit that 3.
Or we gonna or pause, but we're gonna make it fit.
Man, I think this has been a disaster in Philadelphia, not just because of the injuries. I think that Paul George was a reach of a move. I think it was a bad move. Who was the coach before Nick Nurse?
Doc.
Yeah, well, they got to get rid of Doc.
And then before that, they had Brett.
Yeah, I know I'm talking about him. But at this point, you probably have one more year. I would say one more year, maybe 2. One more year of Paul George if he stays, but maybe 2 of Joel Embiid, because I don't at this point with his knees and his injuries, I don't see him getting back to the dominant person that he was on a consistent basis. I think you start thinking about punting and just building around Tyrese Maxey. really next year would be the best way to do that. And what's the rookie? The dancing dude. Jared McCain. Hey, I ain't said nothing about him. Like, I ain't said nothing disrespectful because he was balling when he was playing. I was like, he can shoot for real.
Rookie of the year.
He can shoot for real.
Okay, right on in. Yeah, y'all need a rookie of the year. I know it's been a pretty flat draft. I'm here, my boy. And then his leg fell off, and that kind of
just bad luck for Philly. But at that point, you could build around those two, and I mean, you could if you wanted to commit to it, you could trade Joel Embiid next year and start the rebuild early because you'll get more for him next year than the year before. Who's going to take Joel Embiid? Charlotte.
I guess they don't really have a way to get any better. And Brandon Miller,
I mean, any team that needs a center. I don't know Joel Embiid's contract. I'm assuming it's ridiculous.
It's a supermax. It's the supermaxi of supermaxes. He's
super maxiest of supermaxes. Well, then I guess you really can't get rid of him. Like, at some point you've got to make you're almost at the fork in the road with Philadelphia is what I'm trying to say. You're almost there where you got to make that decision. Yeah, one more year.
You are there.
Right now?
The longer you wait, the worse it's gonna be. Yeah, I mean, there's no good answer there for sure. I don't have a good answer for you. Yeah,
that. Okay, well, sorry, playoff P, way off P, board P, podcast P.
Podcast P is who he is. Great pod.
Sorry that you're bored, but I mean, you'll have a lot of time here in June, Mayish, because you ain't gonna be out on the court. You know what I mean? Norwood, at this point, the Knicks have moved on since we made this list, but they lost to OKC in the big showdown, which you knew was gonna happen. OKC is the second best team in the league.
Yes, Cleveland number one.
Yeah, so I mean,
and I don't know if Cleveland's number one. I think that Cleveland beat OKC, didn't they, in that game?
Yes.
Oh, then Cleveland's number one. You're right. Correct.
So I mean, they lost to OKC. I'm not surprised, but Hartenstein's return was phenomenal for that team. And yeah, Cleveland beat OKC, and OKC beat New York, but OKC is the best team. Because they still don't have Chet.
Yes, and I think Caruso is still out, maybe.
Yes.
So, yeah, you're right. You're right, at full strength. And they have the most draft picks, too, so they're going to make them. I think they're going to make a tertiary move.
They're going to get Cooper Flag.
I don't think that their picks are going to convey. But what they can do is, I mean, if they really wanted to push some of those chips in, they could get aggressive and make people an offer that they couldn't refuse.
They can go get whoever they wanted to. They literally can go get. They have all the assets and picks to get whoever wanted to.
Like, yeah, I'll give you 3 firsts. I mean, and that does put your team. But then you got to get rid of somebody.
They whole bench. You could trade their whole bench and get starters back. Their roster. Isaiah Joe just had 23 points in the first half.
Yeah, and that Wiggins kid don't miss either. But I'm thinking, I mean, SGA at the 1. The issue is you just wouldn't have a 2 guard unless you're gonna play Williams at the 2. Then you will have Flag at the 3. You would have Chet at the 4 and Hartenstein at the 5. You have probably the best defense. I mean,
yeah, exactly. They could do whatever. Yeah. They literally can do whatever they want.
And you don't have to start Cooper Flag. I mean,
you don't have to.
No, you don't have to.
You still got Lou Dort.
I mean, yeah.
Like, you could put Jalen Williams back at the 3 and start Lou Dort like they doing now, and they would be. They literally lose nothing on defense. They gain on defense. Cooper Flag
come off the bench and torch up too. Boy. Hey, get out of my face! I came here to make y'all miserable, and miserable is what I'm gonna make you.
Looking at how bad these teams are in the bottom of the league, I mean, But the thing is, there's no move for Oklahoma City to make. And I know we're going to talk about the Knicks, but there's no move for Oklahoma City to make because they have everything. They have scoring, they have facilitating, they have defense, they have blocks, they have rebounds, they have passing, they have scoring off the bench. Maybe you could strengthen the bench more. But, I mean, what you going to trade and get?
No.
Norman Powell. You could go get Norman Powell if they want.
They're not letting Norman Powell go. That will crush the Clippers. Clippers quietly been holding on because of Norman Powell and James Harden, and nobody giving James nearly enough credit to be playing with a bunch of nobodies.
Okay, well then go get. I'll give you 2 first-round pick for Jaime Jaquez, and he can come off the bench.
Bogey would be a great addition to their team, and he kind of a little long in the tooth anyway. We're moving.
Nah, I don't see us making a move. I mean, they literally can do anything though. Any team that's starved for
picks,
well, I mean, yeah, they starved for picks. We starved for picks.
Right. Hey, love you, Bogey. And you might. Hey, this will be the best situation you ever played for. We're doing you a favor, my boy.
Yeah.
I want to keep it real with you. We doing you a solid.
The Knicks are 3rd in the East. Even though they lost to OKC, they're still 26-15, 3 games behind Boston, 3 games ahead of of Orlando.
I can't wait for the Knicks to run out of gas.
You think so? I think the Knicks will end up 5.
I don't care about nothing regular season with them. What you gonna do when we in the playoffs and your guys are gassed or injured?
They're going to end up at 5, and they're going to end up playing Milwaukee or Orlando.
That's not a great matchup either, let me tell you.
They could beat both of those teams.
They could lose.
But they could lose both.
Yeah,
no, they can't beat Milwaukee. They can't beat Milwaukee. I don't think they can beat
especially if Middleton comes back. If
Middleton is benched. He's back. He's benched.
Right. But he's got plenty of time to get his mind right between then and now. They still don't have an answer for Giannis.
We keep forgetting about the trade deadline. Right. Middleton can be on the move. Then you just go get a 3, and they can get anybody.
I don't know. Let me look at his contract. I don't think it's super bad. Maybe it is though. It is.
His last,
it's like 30 million.
30-something million, right?
It's like 30.
I think he got 3 years, 100 and something million.
But you gotta come on, computer.
I went and looked at Justin Herbert's contract too. Ooh. Yeah. His last year, Justin Herbert is $71 million against the cap.
That's the new answer.
Okay, back to basketball.
Somebody gonna say no to a quarterback.
With no playoff wins.
I mean, look at Kyler. Everybody who paid max for their guy. Somebody gonna be like, "Hey man, I ain't got it."
Jerry,
I ain't got the money. to pay.
Jerry went all the way to Bluff, all the way to the end, and said, "Damn, all right."
Right. And broke. But yeah, Middleton may be movable. I would still have to look back at his contract and see if there's an incentive, because if it's like 3 or 4 years, I'm not taking that contract.
He just signed it, so he may be it might be 4 years, and he's in his 2nd year. I can't remember. But there's really no other teams you could poach. I mean, if you're the Knicks, there's not. The Kings. Now the Kings would be somewhere you could look.
Oh,
go get Cam Johnson, Kevin Huerter off the bench. There's your shooting. Like, that gives you, and he's from up there, ain't he? Yeah, he's from up there. Yeah.
No. But Kev, he it's about time for him to find a new place too.
Come on.
No, he's from Albany.
New York?
Yeah.
That's what I meant. He's from the state of New York. I mean from New York City. I mean,
I thought you were talking about Milwaukee.
No, New York Knicks.
Yeah, he would be. He would actually be a really good addition for them. And
yeah, that's what I was saying. My bad. I went from Milwaukee and then I started talking about football and jumped back to the Knicks. Yeah, Milwaukee. You're right. My bad. Milwaukee. I mean, they need Kevin Huerter there too. Huerter there too. They need shooting.
Yeah.
You always gonna need
And his
shooting. You got
contract 4
Giannis.
years, 65, and he in like 15, 16, and it's only 2 more years. Is this year and next year? So yeah.
Yeah, Huerter would be a great.
Sure.
He would be great on our team right now.
And you could re-sign him for a very reasonable amount. But what $18 million do you have that's not bogey to give up?
To us?
Yep. No doubt.
You'd have to get rid of everybody else. But you'd have to get rid of all them bench players. But I mean, for Milwaukee's sake, they need to go get a scorer. Bad. Knicks, I don't know what the Knicks need. I don't know. They need. I mean, they need depth. They need depth. They need to go to a team that has a whole lot of players for sale, like Portland, Washington, Toronto. Charlotte's actually not going to give up any of their players because they are actually building something over there.
They need to see if they could get D'Angelo on a buyout from Brooklyn.
The Knicks? Yeah, you need a backup point guard.
Yeah.
If you had it, yeah, and he would go to the Knicks before the Hawks. So. We're 20 and 19. We just jumped right up to the 7th spot for their win.
Yeah, but that right there is the Pacers and the Bulls and us and Detroit. Detroit getting it together too, man. And they talking about John Collins of Detroit. And I'm like, ooh.
Yeah, they are 8-2 in their last 10 games.
They're getting them a look. Yeah, and getting them a look closer. If they had John Collins, they could have a little bit of range instead of. And a little size?
Yeah. I mean, I would keep an eye on Miami. If Jimmy Butler goes, there's no point. Where's Kyle Lowry? He's in Miami, right?
No, Kyle Lowry.
Philly.
On the Sixers bench, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I would look at Miami. You may be able to get a couple other players. I was not gonna suggest Kyle Lowry. Depending on what they do. But if they trade Jimmy, then they can resign and go get anybody. So then maybe it's not for sale. I don't know what Indiana's doing as I go through these standings. We just kind of talking now. I'm going through the standings and trying to figure out what we're doing at the trade deadline before we do Hawks talk. I don't know what Indiana's doing.
Well, Tyrese Halliburton just started playing good again, so that's kind of the issue. He was facilitating well, but he couldn't hit the broadside of a barn for a minute. And now that he seems to have found his shot, I mean, they still got the guys. They got Nembhard. They got Mathurin. They got Miles Turner. They got Spicy P. Who I'm glad we did not pay for that, though. That would have been terrible.
I don't
know where you could trade him.
I put Indiana and Minnesota in the same kind of basket. Minnesota, I think they traded away. I don't think they're going to be able to challenge the top. Well, shit, Houston's number 2, so I can't say that. But OKC, Denver, Dallas, when Luka comes back, I think they're below that tier after that Karl Anthony Towns trade.
They probably gonna move Julius.
To who? To where? Toronto is 9-31.
Julius for Jimmy? I've been saying that for like 5 years.
That's a lot of money. Don't Jimmy want to? He got a player option for $54 million or whatever it is.
Yeah, but if he picks that up, then he's expiring, and you clear that money out. That ain't a problem either. If they can have all that money back, that would be the successful clearing of Cat. You get money. Yeah. You have an opportunity then, and you could pay kind of, hey, Anthony Edwards, who do you want to be your guy for the next forever? Who do you want that you really believe hey man, this is the guy who we need to go after? We'll go get him.
The Pelicans is another roster you could raid. I think they already made it known that everybody's available except for 3 players.
Whoever's smart enough to go get Murray will be a happy camper.
Murray.
That's DeJounte. LeBron,
Oh,
you
yeah,
need to
yeah,
be
yeah,
trying to
yeah,
get.
yeah,
You
yeah.
need to be moving. See if they'll take Hashimashi and something, but you just don't have no draft picks. There's no incentive for me to want to uh take on the Lakers leftovers.
Yeah, I don't know where DeJounte Murray fits in any of these. He fits with the Lakers. You may be able to get him to Denver, but Russ is right now taking that over. So
You're not. No, you're not. You're not. They're not moving anybody in Denver.
Jamal
Michael Porter
Murray.
Jr. is going.
Jamal Murray's falling out. I'm not saying he's falling out of favor, but Russ is there. Russ being there makes that interesting because Jamal doesn't start, right?
I think he does, but what do you like? Why would I take Jamal Murray if I'm New Orleans?
Oh, I mean,
You gonna give me picks?
you wouldn't just be Jamal Murray. Yeah, there's never going to be a straight up trade. So I'm suggesting that with
Jamal Murray is probably, I think, more expensive than
30
DeJounte.
and 50 million, yeah, $20 million more.
I got to give you the better player and something else for a guy who probably, and ain't that contract like 3 or 4 more years?
Yeah, he just signed it.
Yeah, he signed it.
He signed it right after the championship year.
Bad business.
It might be tight on DeJounte Murray. I mean, nobody can really trade for him that it would make a big difference. The Lakers can't trade for him. Minnesota would be nice. Who's their starting one? Conley?
Mike Conley, yeah.
Yeah, that's your move.
And you can take Conley to the bench probably.
Send Julius right on over there. Give me DeJounte.
You probably have to trade Conley. I just thought about that because you got Dillingham on the bench.
He don't even play.
Yeah, but you drafted him to play.
That's the move. Ooh, Minnesota with Anthony Edwards and DeJounte Murray. Talk about Jimmy and
Dillingham, bro.
That's a whole lot of shit talking too. That's a whole lot of I don't like you and I'm gonna shut down this backcourt.
Oh, you saying get Murray and Jimmy?
No, they can't get Jimmy. I'm just saying you can't get both.
I want Anthony Edwards with somebody who's
DeJounte. Anthony Edwards and DeJounte would be crazy.
Yeah. Boy.
That would be crazy.
It'd be stressful on Rudy though, boy. They'd be on his ass.
Why?
But that might be the best thing for Rudy, honestly. Just them two, they're terrorists now. But
yeah, I trade Rudy too, man.
Jamal Murray falling off a cliff.
Trade Rudy to the
Freddie
Magic.
VanVleet, boy.
Trade Rudy to the Magic.
They're not taking. Why would they do that? Why would the Magic do that? They don't need any more bigs.
I mean, you'd have to trade something back.
They just need a guard. Give me
Give him Murray.
I think that's who really needs Murray. Yeah, Murray.
That would be hell for the Hawks, boy. DeJounte Murray on the Magic would be hell for the Hawks.
Oh, that won't happen. Paolo and Murray got beef.
Yeah, that's really it though. That's the only that would be
you. Woo, boy! Shout out to people not getting over their beef. Because boy, they ever pieced it up. Wouldn't be bad. What else we got on the docket, my boy?
Hawks talk. Hawks talk. So first off, we got Sacramento's pick. As long as it's top 12 protected. So as long as Sacramento doesn't keep winning, I mean, as long as Sacramento keeps winning and stays at right now, I think they have the 13th pick, and the Lakers keep losing. We'll end up with 2 first-round picks that we could, maneuver for a higher draft pick maybe or another player.
Fill out that bench with young. I mean, this is a good draft. You could really get some guys, and you could move on from Bogey as a shooter. And I mean, they talking about maybe moving on from Buffkin too, just for the injuries. But if you could move Bogey, and then we could get another player, and then have 2 decent rookies.
Well, what would you get with Bogey? You would have to get somebody That's
I mean, no, give me more draft picks. If I could, yeah. Especially if I get that kid like Colin Kneppel who can shoot it. Oh yeah, replace me a shooter. Or I'll tell you what I really want to do. I want that kid. I kind of like the kid from Michigan. That's like the point guard, but the center at the same time.
yeah.
He
I was
would
looking. I
be.
sent. Yeah, I put that in the group. He's intriguing.
He would, especially
He's
if you have
Hartenstein.
two first rounders. Yeah,
He's Hartenstein.
man, I
That's
don't think
basically how he
I don't
plays.
think he's that tough. But his ability to facilitate would be really good.
That's what I'm talking about. He can
Especially
facilitate, he can rebound, and he can shoot. That's
it. If we get those two draft picks, prayerfully, Lord, it would be really. Then you could kind of take us. You could go get the best available, and then take a swing on a guy that you like. In that case, that would definitely be my guy.
so the Hawks are. I had it right here. The Hawks, I think, in our last 10 games, we are 5-5. I mean, we are 20-19. We have been the definition of mid. I am nervous about.
Can we get a round of applause for being mid again, boy? Woo. Woo.
I am nervous about
Jalen Johnson.
Jalen Johnson. Anytime the Hawks are vague about something, it scares me. That shoulder seems to be more problematic than you think.
Yeah, he's been sitting out a long time. It's been like 4 or 5 games, and we had the reschedule game. I was just sure that by the time the reschedule came back, it's like, okay, cool, we ready to rock.
And ain't been no update. That's the part that's concerning. There's been no update.
Just every day, it's like, up, Jalen Johnson been ruled out. Brad Rowland of Locked On Hawks. That's it. And bro, we need to do something with Cody Zeller, man. Move him, yo. Move him so that we're like stealing wins. Like today, we beat the Suns with no Jalen Johnson and no DeAndre Hunter, which is impressive. But like let's not be like the Hawks. The Falcons. We've identified what we need, like where we could get some help quick. Backup point guard, and we need a power forward. Like we need a power forward bad, especially with no Hunter and no Jalen. Like doing this. Like
now, what I don't understand is why Larry Nance Jr. is hurt because he had that finger injury.
Correct.
Yeah, we need it. We
reevaluated in 2 weeks, so you're looking at probably a month before he's. And that's a shooting hand, so you really, you got to wait for him to kind of.
Yeah, we've seen that. What that happens with John Collins. That can
right. Now I think the John Collins finger is. I don't know if I've ever seen anything quite like that before, and I ain't never seen anything like it again.
Let's see. So Sacramento, we're 5-5. We do need to make a move. We got to get a backup point guard, but I don't know who you go get. I don't know who's available. That's good at facilitating. Normally, the good backup point guards are not available.
Right. You're going to have to it's going to be Dennis Smith Jr., who I think might still be a little injured, Markelle Fultz, or like a guy like Lonnie Walker. Those are the guys.
They're not point guards, though. Markelle Fultz is. But something's wrong with Markelle Fultz. It's a reason that nobody's signing him. It's something. It's something we don't know. Too many people need a backup point guard.
Oh, and they say he's the one that's still dealing with injuries. That's what it is.
Who, Fultz?
Yeah.
I mean, he's been injured his whole career.
That's unfortunate. And but we got to do something. Not doing something is not the answer. And you don't have to make a move you can make a move that's a pretty simple move to get it done. We also really need to look at what we're going to do with Okongwu and Capella. This is just year after year after year of doing nothing, and it's not really netting us the results. And I feel like we're putting ourselves in a situation where,
Now that is an Atlanta Falcons, Atlanta Hawks move, is let our assets depreciate until we can't do anything with it.
Worthless.
That's what we did with John Collins, D'Angelo Russell trade rumors. Let's see if he's in any rumors or any buyout stuff yet. Point guard option for the Lakers to replace. Nope. Lakers reportedly had trade talks for Zach LaVine earlier this season. Dallas Mavericks rumors D'Angelo Russell is. So everybody's saying D'Angelo Russell is actually going to play out this year and then just go into 2025 free agency.
Yeah, but I mean, if we had some second round picks, you could just throw them at him like, hey man, let us buy him from you. You just pay, like, you're gonna pay him. Y'all trying to tank anyway. Like, all D'Angelo can do is make y'all win games. I don't think y'all are trying to do that. Now, that's the other thing, man. Zach LaVine low-key hooping.
He always be low-key hooping. Like, Zach LaVine is a good player when he's healthy, but it'd be inconsequential. It'd be and the thing is, they have a good, like, Kobe White is hooping. Zach LaVine is hooping.
They got a little log jam issue.
Lonzo got hurt again, didn't he?
No, Lonzo's healthy. They got a bunch of guards, but not enough shooters.
Yeah.
Giddey, Kobe White, Lonzo, Ayo DeSumo. None of them like shooters. Yeah, no. Well, they got LaVine playing the three, which, I mean, that works enough. You overpay Patrick Williams. I don't really know what to do with that. But yeah, they have too many guards who are like legitimate guards, but just none of them can shoot. Like, none of them are score first. Everybody's like, hey, let me help somebody else get a bucket, which is cool until we got to have somebody get a bucket.
That's another Midland team that I think they need to move on this year. They need to move on. They need those guys need to go in a separate direction.
You might be able to. What's Lonzo's contract? I think Lonzo's too expensive to move.
No, I mean Zach LaVine.
But
I think the problem is you're not getting nothing back for Zach LaVine.
What, this is the end of Lonzo's career? I mean, not career. Jesus, his contract.
What?
24-25. I don't think that's right.
Might be. I mean,
I'd take that.
Yeah, I would trade for Lonzo today if that were that.
Yeah, I mean, Lonzo would be perfect because you could play with him. You could play him and Trey at the same time.
No, we tried that, but he would definitely be able to anchor the say. I mean, you could then, depending on how you get him, you could get Bogey. I mean, if you could keep Bogey and Hunter, he's gonna set them up perfectly. Lonzo would set the whole second string up perfectly. I would play him with Zach Ricochet. That's what I would do. Because Lonzo's not gonna look to score. Lonzo's gonna look to get everybody else hot.
I don't think we got enough to get to the $20 million to get Lonzo.
No, we don't. Now you'd have to give up one of them centers. And Chicago, now I think about it, I mean, Vucevic is about to get traded, right?
He's out of there. I think he's going to end up with Golden State.
So if that happens, I mean, they can get some shooters back. They could probably get Moses Moody. They'll probably get Podziemski.
He looks like he'd be and he's a little bit more of a scorer. That actually probably would be solid for him.
And then you could probably move on. They actually have the ability right now to revamp their roster a little bit and keep it younger. I don't know what they're going to. Patrick Williams, is he still there?
Yep.
Boy, he had y'all fooled. Fooled.
I never figured out what he did good. He was not like a lockdown defender. He wasn't a knockdown shooter. He don't have a mid range. He's not a.
He wasn't a shooter at all.
Right. He's a jack. Like, he got a sometime in mid range, but like he's not like a Kungwu or a Capella, like a complete non shooter. But you also not like, oh yeah, he gonna knock that down every time either.
He's John Collins if John Collins couldn't shoot and was like an inch shorter. Like, he can't dribble, he can't shoot, he can't do nothing. he's supposed to be able to guard. I mean, that's his thing. He's supposed to be able to guard the 1 through the 4, which he was at first. But then they gave him that. I didn't understand the contract. Well, his contract ain't bad, but
it ain't great either.
He hasn't improved at all. So if I were Chicago, I would definitely blow it up. I at this point, there's no reason to keep everybody. And again, you're doing what the Hawks do, and you're gonna end up letting all your assets depreciate.
Big facts.
Anything else you want to talk about? You want to talk about any of this trade deadline buzz? You want to talk about the Hawks? We don't have really anything else on the docket. Appreciate all 36 of y'all watching.
I mean, it's such a kind of like weird time right now.
You're all waiting on the trade deadline, really.
Yeah, waiting on somebody to make a move, and then once one team makes a move, I think everybody else will make a move. But until then, we just kind of sitting, waiting, and wishing. And the Hawks are going to play this thing close to the vest. They're going to see what's available, and I think they're actually probably okay with even now. The thing that concerns me,
folks saying we're gonna stand pat,
right? But if we don't do something with Clint, he's expiring.
Clint will come back though.
I think he would too, and probably. You probably come back at probably like 15 too. Still don't solve our problem though. It's cheaper, so that's great, but it doesn't really do anything for us as far as we need to get better.
I did not mean to go to the Magic. I was looking at the answer for the Hawks is probably the Blazers. I mean, the Blazers. If you want to upgrade to 5, I think we had this discussion before. I don't remember what.
I'm not taking Ayton, bro.
Ayton's contract.
Dude, I just watched him just stand in the paint and let everybody get offensive rebounds, and he just not do anything. He's a 2K player, bro. That's it.
Well, I mean, you could get Robert Williams is at $12 million. I ain't really keen on that either.
No, I'd rather have Clinton than Robert Williams. I'm not going to get rid of a top 5 rebounder for Robert Williams. And like you said, we could probably keep Clint at 15 million, 20, maybe like 17 million.
Matisse Thybulle is at 11 million. Dang, man, they overpay everybody.
That's not really that bad of a contract. He's a decent,
I'd bring him off the bench at the 2. If you had to move on from Bogey, just because that gives you 24/7 defense. Like you can't do nothing.
That's Dyson. That's Dyson light. That's all that is. And I mean, he can shoot enough of the 3 in the corner. Like he could do that. I might be interested in Thybulle, but what you gonna get rid of? I mean, you could probably move Roddy. Ooh, it would be Roddy and probably Garrison Matthews. I don't really want to get rid of Garrison Matthews. I want to get rid of Roddy so bad, boy.
Nobody gonna take him.
He ain't. And
Bradley Beal.
He's a cheap guy.
Where does Bradley Beal end up? Miami.
I know they was a little scared. He rolled his ankle. I was like, oh no, that's the last thing that you need right now.
Sit him. He's gonna be out for 2 to 3 days.
No, but you're trying to move him. You don't want him hurt. So no.
Yeah, that's why they're gonna sit him out. I wouldn't play load management.
Thybulle. And let me see here. Can we get David Roddy? And
dang, Kuminga got hurt. He was a trade piece. He's out 3 weeks.
Oh, that's nasty work. That don't work. Yeah. It would have to be something else. That we don't really have.
You said we need a 4? What's Brandon Ingram's contract?
He don't fit, bro. He need the ball in his hands way too much.
I think he's expiring, actually.
Yeah, he is.
We brainstorming, y'all. We're trying to brainstorm how we can figure out to make the Hawks better and make them more competitive. It's the backup point guard, but I don't know where you're gonna get a backup point guard from. Honestly, I don't know where you get one from unless you can, get Scoot Henderson from Portland or something.
Oh, definitely. You can't do that. If you're the GM, you get fired because there's still a chance that Scoot could be a decent basketball player.
He's starting to come around a little bit. He's starting to come around a little bit.
You can't bail on that. I wish we could get like Anthony Simons.
Yeah, I said that like I said that every year.
I think he.
I said that every single year. We should get
$25 million to come off the bench. Though is a lot. Our bench would be expensive. Shh.
Yeah, he wouldn't. You're not benching Dyson Daniels. So yeah, but I mean, he could. I mean, he cook up though. I mean, that's CJ McCollum part 2.
Right. But you have to get rid of Bogey for him.
Yeah, which
I would do that.
He's a little better off the dribble. I think Bogey's a little more streaky. He's a better playmaker. And
he is on a 2-year contract. You have Bogey for 3 years. You got Simons for 2 years, which is really this year, next year.
I mean, that's
and
kind of good for you.
And then he gonna want $30 million.
But I mean, in 2 years, do you really want Bogey? Bogey's what, 31, 32?
Oh no, you want the. I mean, I guess you're right. At that point, where if I don't want to pay Bogey $18 million, I guess $18 million in 3 years is not bad though. That ain't bad. But Simons would be better for. But really, it's really just the rest of the season, next season. But you could spend some money then too if it don't work out with him.
Going through all of this, it's probably best for the Hawks to go through the draft and acquire draft assets. I don't know if we have the money to get a center, a backup center, or a starting center, and a backup point guard. I don't know if we have the money to do that.
How do we get $20 million?
For who?
Cam Johnson. He would be perfect.
From the Nets?
Yeah.
For Bogey? I mean, you'd have to get rid of Bogey, right?
Yeah.
Bogey's more of a playmaker than Cam Johnson. Cam Johnson ain't going to pass the ball to nobody. Bogey at least gets other people involved a little bit. Cam ain't going to. Cam had 49 points and like 0 assists.
I guess, and that doesn't solve either one of our problems really either. I don't know, man. We got time though. The Hawks playing better basketball than everybody expected at this point. The biggest concern right now is just Jalen Johnson getting healthy. Outside of that, we just take it day by day. We just kind of dog walking this thing. That's all I got.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of the basketball segment of episode 175 of the Splashcast. We've now finished the entire episode. It took us 2 days. Always remember, like, follow, subscribe. Norwood, if we ain't miss anything, take us out.
Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, thank you guys for rocking with us on a Saturday, a Sunday, and a Monday.
And Tuesday.
Tuesday, excuse me. That's what I went. Monday and Tuesday. But more football on the way. National championship on the way. Playoffs on the way. We on the way. Number one. More black baseball. Saw Ronald Acuna a little bit more healthy today. Made me feel good. Got excited.
Yes,
Number 2, more black cowboys and cowgirls. Number 3, the historically black college university you went to, your cousin went to, your auntie went to, the person you used to sit in the back of church and laugh, Kiki went to. Send some money over there. The historically black college university in your neighborhood.
Oh, historically black college. We're going to talk. Sorry to interrupt you. Let me jump right here. They're going to finish. We'll talk about it next Monday. Jackson State there has been new legislation introduced in the state of Mississippi to improve Jackson State's athletic facilities and beautify the campus around there. They're trying to get $40 to $50 million. Can't wait to talk about that next Monday.
Boy, run it up.
Sorry, I had to say that before I forgot about it.
You got to do it when you got to do it. Yes. And, of course, the greatest learning institution in all the world, the Hampton University. We only ask for $18.68 on behalf of the year that the university was founded. Outside of that, thank you guys for rocking with us once again. Adios, mi amigos.